Hi all. So I've got a Honda Transalp that I've owned now for a couple of years, and when I bought it, the front mudguard had been painted. Don't know what happened to it, but it's been painted. It's been painted by hand, brushed, I think. Well, yes it is, because you can see the brush marks in it. It's pretty obvious. I don't know if this image is really showing how bad it is. The colour seems right, but clearly the finish is poor, so I don't quite know what to do about it. Certainly not experienced, but I'm going to get a selection of wet and dry papers. I'm going to try rubbing it back, just maybe cutting it back, possibly applying a lacquer, don't know, but I'm going to see if I can get the finish to be better than it is right now. So I've been out, bought myself a selection of paper, some wet and dry paper, a variety of grades. I've got 400, an 800, 2000, I don't know what's right. Paint preparation wipes, some teacup restorer, some clear lacquer. So I'm going to see what I can do with this. I think first of all, pretty obviously, I need to remove it, give it a clean, see how we go from there. Not sure how to remove it yet. There's some obvious fixings here on the side. It's filthy dirty. I'll work my way around, see if I can get it off. So first problem, I've taken the 5 bolts out. They were simple and straightforward, just hex bolts. That's left this clearly very loose, but not enough clearance to come it out. So I think what I'm going to have to do is to remove some of the brake pipes, or slacken them off at least, to create a bit of space. That then I think will allow me to lift it out. Okay, so the mudguard's off. It took the 5 hex bolts holding the guard itself, and then I just had to remove 2 8mm top. And that just allowed me to get some movement on the brake line. Once that had some space, it was quite easy. So we've got the mudguard out. It's complete. Doesn't seem to be broken or anything. Just this finish. So give it a clean up first, soap and water. Okay, so give it a clean up, soap and water. The mud's off. I don't know how well the camera's picking this up yet, but you can clearly see brush marks all over it. It's very obviously been painted. It's not broken at all, there's no repairs on it, so presumably it was replaced at some point. So now I'm going to start finally rubbing it back. I don't know what grade to use, I don't know what's right, so I think it's probably safest if I start at the back so it's less visible, and that's certainly where it looks pretty cracked, so I don't even know if that's going to just sand back or not. I'll start at the back, start with the finest grit, and then work my way up. Okay, well I've just started, and I've literally just used 800 grit paper, soaked that in water, rubbed it for literally seconds, very very lightly. Basically the paint's just coming straight off. So that's the back, that's where I tried it. You can just see it feels lovely and smooth instantly, but it's just paint's just coming off. So before I touch the front, which is the obvious visible bit, I might just have to rethink this, check what paints I've got, see if I can possibly get something to repaint this with instead of just rubbing it back. Don't know. I might just try just a bit up here, just very 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 lightly, with possibly the finest I've got, the 2000, just see if that literally just improves it very very easily and quickly. Well, that certainly didn't go to plan. So I was trying to just very gently cut back the paint to try and give it a smooth finish, and all that happened, it just resulted in cutting straight through the paint. It was so thin that as soon as I touched it, even with the finest papers, it just cut straight through it. So it now looks awful, but to the touch it feels perfectly smooth now. So I'm just going to finish up cleaning it up, then use some paint prep wipes on it and try and give it a dusting of paint, see how it takes. Okay, so I've just used just a rattle can, just some satin black, and I've just given that a dusting over, and it's already looking better. In fact, thankfully, the finish is already better than it was when it was all brushed up. So I guess I'm going to have to leave this now to harden off. Once it's done so, I don't know whether I'm going to try taking it back, making it smoother with like the 2000 grit paper or not. I'm not experienced in this in any way, so I think what I'm going to do is, once it's hardened, possibly give it another coat, then maybe a clear lacquer on top, and then try cutting it back after that. So it's already got, I'd say, a better finish than it had, but certainly not great. I mean, you can see that quite obviously in the reflections, but it doesn't look hand painted anymore anyway, or at least not with a brush. Okay, let's come back soon. Okay, so it's now had a couple of coats of clear lacquer. That seems to have made it slightly shinier. It needs time to actually harden off, but it certainly looks consistent. It's not very shiny yet, it's still got a bit of a dappled finish to it, but it's certainly looking a lot better than it was. I'm optimistic that I should be able to cut this back to a nice shine, but we'll see. So I'm just experimenting, but rubbing it back and just getting it back to a smooth finish did not work, so I've had to respray it in satin black and then a lacquer on top. Okay, so I'm trying to get some shine onto this paint. I'm trying this T-cut colour fast. Put a load of it onto like a buffing pad, rubbed it in, just letting it dry off now. So it seems to have gone to a hazy finish. I'm not sure how that's going to shine up, but we'll let it dry off for a minute and then we'll try. Okay, interestingly that certainly helped. So just buffed it up with a lint-free cloth, and that certainly shinier than it was before. Nowhere near perfect, but it certainly doesn't look like it's been obviously painted with a brush, which was how we started. So I might have one more go with that, using the tea colour fast. That seemed to help, so I might have one more application of that, and then I was thinking possibly try like a wax on top. So let's see how that finishes off. Okay, so I've just completed the second application of that T-cut, and I'm not sure if the camera can pick this up, but I can see myself in the reflection, which is a lot better than it was. So I think the next stage for me is I'm going to try and apply a wax. So let's see if I can get any more shine out of it. But that, to me, is looking much better. Still nowhere near perfect, it's not going to be. But for something that looked like it had been badly painted with a paintbrush, it's certainly improving. Right, that's the end of this experiment. Interesting. So it's much better, much shinier. You know, I can see reflection of my hand on it, which before I can never do anything like that.
In hindsight, I think I should have given it maybe something like a high coat primer, just to get rid of all the remaining marks underneath. I thought sanding it back felt perfectly smooth, but you can still see some brush marks in it. The finish is okay. I used a satin black and a gloss. That probably wasn't right, but maybe I should have bought a high gloss, or possibly even a different paint. But overall, it's much improved, and I'm learning, which was the whole point of me trying this. Okay, thank you.